How's it? Today is Saturday, October 26th. Less pain is more gain. I am lifting on Saturday because yesterday I tried to lift a little bit and then I just wasn't feeling it. I don't think anything was necessarily going wrong. I just felt like motivationally I was not there. So I was like, I'm kind of injured. It doesn't really matter if I do this right now. I can also come back tomorrow. So that is what I ended up doing. And I came in today with the idea of getting some complexes to full range of motion. And that was my only goal. I did push a little bit of the weight, I guess, from the other lifts from this week. But I went up to 80 for power snatch plus overhead squat plus a full snatch. So, the puzzle pieces, power snatch is like one half of a full snatch. It's probably like 80% of a full snatch. Overhead squat is about half of a full snatch, and the full snatch is 100% of it. So I'm just trying to piece the pieces together and make sure that I'm moving in a way that my body doesn't hurt. That is all that matters. The weight on the bar is like mostly for vanity at this point. I'm like, I can power snatch 80 when I'm feeling like crap, then things are okay. Things are not as bad as it seems. And that was basically the case. So here's 60. That was a really solid power snatch. And then as far as everything else goes, like, I was a little worried about how my cleans would go because last week I was feeling awesome for my snatch complexes. I didn't feel anything remotely painful. But when I moved into cleans, I got up to 100. I'm not entirely sure what my actual complex was. That's, I probably should remember, but at the same time, it's really, I try to take this thing day by day. And if I'm able to move well enough for it to not hurt, then that's a positive, and that is all that I care about. So if I end up doing the same movement 2 days, as far as like progression goes, if I end up doing the same thing, it's not, to me, it doesn't really matter. As long as on that day things are better than it was, in my mind perspective wise than it was the day before. That makes sense. Here's my first set at 80. So power snatch was a little bit tenuous, but I think, again, a little vanity for me to make sure that I am not, I don't feel like a weak piece of shit if I'm just doing like 60. So, yeah. Again, sorry, going back to the clean and jerks. Last week I had to stop what I was doing, and that was like, borderline. I don't want to say devastating, but in the moment, I remember being like, "Fuck, I can't lift right now." And then, like, taking a step back, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, I'm like, okay, like, I did very well on all my snatches, so at least half of what I wanted to do was accomplished. So, I'm taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, maybe 2 steps back, whatever the case is. But today was a different story. I feel like I was able to do all of the cleans. I was a little apprehensive about how they would go. And, it turned out swell. It turned out very good. So, yeah. I think when I'm looking at my clean complexes, it's like 4 reps. So it's like power clean, front squat, full clean, power jerk. And basically that's like 4 reps of a set, 4 reps of movement in one set. And that is a lot of moving. I know that I felt very gassed towards the end of every set, even though it's not super heavy and I'm not, physically taxed as much as I would be if I were lifting a lot heavier, or like even more like classic straight sets. If I did like 4 power cleans, I probably would be more tired than I would be if I did power clean, front squat, clean, and power jerk. But I don't know. Still moving as much as I did in each of these sets was a lot. That power jerk looked really good at 60. I'm trying to emulate that, but I think one thing that I'm really really trying to give myself a little bit of grace is I'm trying my best to not care about my technique right now. And that sounds like a very strange statement. And like taken in a vacuum, that is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to say. Like, oh, I don't care about my technique. That is stupid, like naive and stupid. But when I'm looking at the whole picture, my technique does not matter right now. What matters is me being able to hit the range of motion that I need to, me being able to feel less pain. That's way, 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 way more important. Here's my first set. Way more important than having good technique. And like, maybe there's a correlation of like, if I had good technique, maybe I wouldn't have gotten hurt. Maybe that's true. I don't think so, because I got hurt when I was back squatting. And okay, for sure, if I had better technique when I was back squatting, then yeah, I think that things would have been different. But I don't think that the weight that I'm moving for the snatches or the clean and jerk is what caused my lower back to start hurting. So I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I'm thinking about this. I don't ever try to make an excuse on any of the things that I'm doing for my lifts. Like, it is the way it is. It's the decision I made to do this thing the certain way that I did. And if it fucked up, then it's fucked up. If I did well, then I did well. I don't ever try to come out and try to make an excuse for why something went poorly. It feels like I do, because it is like, it's like when you give a reason for something, sometimes people take that as an excuse. But for me, it's like, this is the reason why I'm not doing well, is because my mobility is bad, you know? Is that an excuse? Sure, maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But I think, like, at the end of the day, if my mobility is bad, then, you know, it's not, it's more of a reason than an excuse. I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. Sorry that I'm getting, like, very rambly. I don't even know what I was talking about before that. But yeah, after my clean and jerk complexes, I moved into some pull-ups and then my GHD sit-ups. I actually didn't mention this the last time last two times I did the GHD sit-up. When my back is hurting, there is no way on earth I would ever wanna be doing the GHD sit-up. I think, like, my back hurts so much in that position where I'm, like, slightly scrunched over, that it just is, like, not worth it in any stretch of the imagination. So I think it was last week when I did it, but I did hanging leg raises in place of it, but that still hurt as well. So, like, me being able to do the GHD sit-ups today is a very, very, very good sign, indicating that I'm not saying I'm past the injury, but I am at least good enough, healthy enough to sort of train the way that I want to and train the way that I think I'm supposed to train, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, today was really solid. I went, let's see, 9 for 9 on the snatch stuff. Then I went 12 for 12. So I went, what is that? 21 for 21 on my lifts. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shoots.